Welcome to the Midwest Game Nerds podcast. I'm your host, John. Here with me today are Brian.
Hey.
Alex.
Hello.
And a very special guest, Ryan.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about some game news and a bunch of what we've been playing. But before we get to all of that, if you want to follow us on social media and see all the places you can listen to or watch our show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. As always, we do appreciate your feedback when you can send it to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. Please do actually send us feedback, dear God. Like, give us more to do.
It's been a while, I feel.
When we do get feedback, we get really great feedback. So I just want more of it because it's awesome. Like, it's great to have people write in and say stuff.
Tell us how awesome we are.
Yeah, and tell your friends about us, most importantly. Like, if you know people who listen to podcasts and or who play video games who don't necessarily listen to podcasts but need something to listen to while they play video games, like, we are a good good avenue for that sort of thing. So
plus, if you send in feedback, you don't have to listen to John's rant begging you for feedback every time.
People love our show. Our mom has told us the show's great. That's a lie because she's never listened to it.
I have a few friends that listen every week. That's like 3 of them.
That's awesome.
Great.
They should write in and tell us how awesome we are so we can feel better about ourselves.
I don't even think I have that many friends that listen to it.
I don't think I have that many friends.
Well, you know.
I think you guys are it. I don't know. But no, yeah, definitely send in feedback. Tell us what you think about the show and tell us how much you like our guest, Ryan. And tell us about the games you're playing and what games you like. And
I am pretty wonderful.
we're especially going to want to know what everybody else's game of the year is this year once we go over that information for the next episode. So definitely let
us know what you've loved from 2017. What's your 2017 game of 2016?
And let us know what your most anticipated game for 2018 is.
Hold on.
It's the game that you played the most of in 2017 that actually came out in 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What is my probably? Like,
I could do a top 5 of those, I think.
My game of 2010 of 2010 of 2017 is Spelunky.
Mine's for sure Rocket League.
It's that old?
I've just been playing that forever still.
Yeah, Rocket League's really good.
I don't think I've played anything from 2016 that I can recall off the top of my head.
I'm sure there's
that
something.
quickly.
But anyway, we can think about it for next time.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Anyways, Ryan, what have you been playing, man? You have a gaming PC now.
Yeah, I did recently build my first gaming PC.
How much has that changed your life?
Well, I'm part of the master race, right?
You
That's
are.
what they say. No, it's been great. I've been really happy with it. And the great thing is my brother and I have been doing the Steam family sharing. So all of a sudden, I just have a huge library of games to play from.
Yeah, till all those devs from Steam hear this podcast, and they're like, well, we're going to nix his shit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're family. It's a family share program. He's my brother, you know.
Yeah.
So that's fair, right?
Sure he is.
So
yeah, brother.
I got you.
So can you only play? You can't play the same game at the same time, or you can't play from his pool of games.
No, I can play from all of his pool of games. We can't play. So say he has PUBG and I wanted to play it, but if he's playing it, I can't play it.
But if he's playing PUBG, which he owns, can you play any of the other games that he owns?
Yes.
Still?
Well, yes. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can play anything, no matter what. It's just I can't be playing the exact same game.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you have to prove your family somehow?
It's kind of a process. Like
really?
have
to send in a DNA test.
Yeah.
So-
you sign up for 23andMe.
Is there like a fingerprint reader or something to
Yeah,
identify it's
yeah,
actually
exactly.
you?
It's a little bit more intensive. Than
Retina
If
scan.
it turns out one of you are adopted, you can't share Steam games.
Exactly.
Right.
But no, what you do is you we're on Discord and we just log into each other's accounts on our computers, and you have to log into that account on that computer, and then so you have to go back and forth with passwords and stuff.
you have to have Steam Guard on.
Yes.
So that it sends an authentication code to your phone or email in order to verify that you are allowing somebody to play your games.
So you actually set this. You looked into setting this up.
I looked
Alex?
at it a little bit.
Yeah, because I was telling Alex about it after you and I talked about it, and I think because we've been debating like how we want to figure out a way for us to spend less money playing video games.
That's definitely
and like
one way to do it.
So we figured making a collective
But
Game
still
Nerds
be
account
legal
for
about
us.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just can't play if you're playing a multiplayer game.
Yeah,
you
you're
guys
each gonna.
You
well,
always
that's
have to have your own.
and we
copy.
each have our own respective account, but we would have like one pool account that like we all can like log into
games.
and like play single player stuff on.
John's
and trade,
actually gonna sell his house, and then he and Brian are both gonna move in, and then we're only gonna eat every third day.
Yeah.
And then we might just might be able to afford all the games.
That's perfect. Well, I told Liz that, she's leaving for Colombia. My fiance Liz is leaving for Colombia, coming back in 8 months. She's not allowed to come in until she buys me a Switch.
There you go.
I told her I need a Switch before you can move back in this house.
That sounds fair.
That sounds fair, right?
Yeah.
I think that's very fair.
They're not that expensive.
No, it's $300. It's like maybe a portion of her rent at your house.
I know. I was messing around with my brother's Switch. I was playing Mario, and I was like,
it's fantastic.
This is freaking
awesome. That'll sell you on that system pretty quick.
Real quick. I was just playing it, and I was like, this is so awesome.
So you played Mario. Have you played anything else on the Switch?
I played a little bit of Zelda.
Okay.
I played Mario Kart. I was just messing around, though. I didn't really get into anything.
Yeah. And you recently on your PC started playing Skyrim, right?
I have never played Skyrim, but I'm about to play it for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to log that.
You
one
should
up.
just sell your PC and buy a PSVR.
That's mind blowing to me that someone who I know who's as into games as you are is just now playing Skyrim.
Or anyone you know.
Yeah, I mean everyone has played it.
Even like Megan played it like a day or two ago.
She did. She played the VR.
Yeah, I've never played it, but I did play Nier Automata.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, that might be one of my favorite games I have played in the last 5 years.
That's awesome.
It was, it's not maybe for everyone, but I really, really enjoyed it. Just the different styles of gameplay that it goes through. It just switches consistently between, different styles of games. And the story's wacky and crazy, and I kind of like it. And it's it's a kind of a convoluted mess, but it's still entertaining. And, I realized, so I beat the game, and then I'm reading, I'm like, wow, that's pretty short. And I'm like, oh, shit, I got to do this 3 more times or 2 more times before I actually get the full story. So I'm like almost through the second time through, and it's a completely different game. Sure, some of the bosses are like the same, but you fight them differently. And it's a very interesting way of storytelling, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Awesome.
I started it actually. I'm almost through my first playthrough, and it's everything that Webby's saying. I think there's 26 different endings you can get.
Yeah,
and endings A through E are actually, like, I've heard that you need to play through ending E to get the full experience of the game. Is what I've heard.
Now, do you know if each successive playthrough gets you the endings in order, or is it like you get them randomly?
So you can get like ending J or whatever. If
you get the same ending more than once.
If you die in the opening mission, you get ending J.
Okay, period.
Yep.
Like you have these chips like that are hooked up to your like they're like upgrade chips, basically like materia, like you want to call it that. And if you unplug your OS chip, boom, game over. It's like ending F, or something like that.
So that was I told John about it a little bit, but the idea that the plug-in chips, you can structure them in a way it looks like a defragging like hard drive kind of program essentially, but
thought I was done with that.
There's a set of chips that are labeled as HUD chips, and you can turn off your life bar or the saving signal sign or these other things to have room for other chips. So say if you want to up your ranged attack and you're like, well, if I die, I'm going to die. I'll just take off my life bar because you can put on like auto heal chips or whatever.
Yeah.
You can take your life bar off and have the room in your OS to install a different plugin chip. And the game just gets even more metatextual than that. And it's really cool so far.
It's pretty awesome. I was really into it. It's one of my favorite games. It's like very original. And definitely it's very odd. I don't know how to. You have this like slutty robot running around, but she's not really slutty. She's just like a robot that is like a death machine, But it's just crazy. It's really entertaining. I played some Assassins too, the new Assassins. It's okay.
Did you play both of those on PC or?
Yeah.
Okay, because I heard a lot of people had huge problems with Nier on PC.
So yes, there is some issue. It ran fine. It's capped out at 60 frames a second though. Okay. So that's kind of a downer. But and running the window, it's like it tries to run in windowed mode like most of the time, but
like borderless full screen window.
No, it's like it's got like a little black border, and so you have to like set it up to kind of
That's
It's
really
another
annoying.
chip you have to remove.
Yeah, that's what I was
exactly.
thinking.
Yeah,
Take the
gotta
chip out to
remove
run
the-
in full screen mode.
Yeah.
Put the chip in for windowed mode.
I wouldn't put that past like a sequel to the game. That's
Like it's so
probably-
meta. It's like
It's so bizarre.
like
the 60
there's
frames
probably
per second chip.
ending Z is probably delete your hard drive. and
Right,
then
it
you
just
somehow
wipes your
get the
computer
I know
file.
that one of the endings is like delete your saved game.
You
Oh jeez.
yeah, so that's kind of a spoiler, but I
Oh,
did
it's
hear
alright,
about it.
yeah.
It's okay. The idea is that you can. There's an earlier ending in the game where you can get saved by somebody else, but it's because they chose to delete their saved data for the game.
Like I don't know the details, but I just know that like there's no. It's not really a spoiler, but you can delete.
Like I think that's ending E. Is you get to ending E and it's like you can delete everything if you want to save somebody.
Oh, this
And
game
that-
just sounds like a pain in the ass, but so cool at the
It's-
same time.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's definitely very very cool.
Yeah.
It's not going to be for everyone.
on a level of from like 1 to Japanese, how Akira is it?
Nihongo.
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
up there.
It is extremely Japanese.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, you got. It's just weird. You live. It's like this post-apocalyptic world, but you have these like cute little these cute robots.
Yeah.
Like it's weird that are like killing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
How turned on were you while playing it?
I was about 3/4 chub.
On a
All right,
scale
cool.
of 1 to Japanese. No.
Is that fair?
No, that's good. I mean, I don't know what you're packing down there. I would assume that's pretty good though.
three quarters.
Yeah, 3/4 of an inch. I gotcha.
Oh, that's
Anyways, I gotta get all the dick jokes
Yeah,
out
you know,
now. I
it's-
gotta
it's-
get them out.
It's no what is it? Dead or alive?
Dead or Alive,
volleyball?
yeah,
Extreme
yeah.
beach volleyball.
Yeah, it's not none
Oh,
of that.
jeez.
Soul Calibur, some of those medieval boobies.
But yeah, those are the two I've been playing. You know,
What do you think of Assassins?
It's no genital jousting.
Assassins? I haven't beaten Assassins all the way yet.
Neither have we.
It's kind. I
I
kind of got like.
I think there's only 2 or 3 people in the world that have.
yeah,
There's
it's,
just too much stuff to do.
there's a lot of shit going on. I mean, it's kind of cool, but like I've never been like. Some people love Assassins. Like my brother's a diehard Assassins
I think
guy.
the story's great.
I
Just-
liked like
yeah.
the Ezio arc minus one of the games, but
Yeah. It's just it's good. I like it that it's different than the other ones, but at the same time, you know, I don't feel really awesome riding around a little camel and it doesn't really do much.
Yeah, I wish like
me-
I'm like pretty close to the end of the game and I still just have a camel. It's like give me a horse, man.
you can
I
buy
think
a
you have
horse.
to buy.
a
You have
horse.
to
I don't
buy
wanna
the
buy
horse.
it like
anything.
really early in the
Give
game.
it to me.
Just steal
Why
them.
can't they
Okay.
just give you a horse instead of a camel? Like that's kind of.
I don't see what the problem is with this. I think that is a perk of the game is that you can actually ride a camel. What other game lets you ride a camel? It's always a horse.
Yeah, for a reason.
It's pretty
Because
awesome.
no one wants to ride a camel.
He's in the desert.
I think
That's what you ride in the
it's
desert.
amazing.
I've been to Dubai. I got to ride a camel in the desert. I got to.
How
do
fast
That.
were you going?
We didn't go very fast. We
Yeah,
just. we
that's
just,
the problem. The
we
map's
went,
huge.
We went in like a circle.
I think the camels are more battle hardened than the horses in the game.
Yeah. But no, I like the issue Alex and I were having with Assassin's Creed is that they gate you at we just wanted to get through the story. Like I wanted to know because I like the story. I want to know
Yeah.
more of it, but you get gated like every 6 levels. You get to a point where they're like, okay, you have to hit 4 more levels before you can progress in the story, and it's like that just sucks. Like
I like playing games and kind of being over leveled. I mean, there's two ways of.
I
doing
prefer to be over leveled too.
There's two ways of thinking about it. Like people like the challenge, or you like to be over
Well,
leveled.
and it depends on the game too. Like if it's a game where I'm really invested in the story and I just want to breeze through it, then I over level early on so that I can just breeze through it. But then you always will reach a point where you're like, okay, I have to grind a little bit here to move on, which is fine. But this is a game where it's difficult to level because you don't get a lot of experience from everything you're doing unless you're completing quests. And some of the quests take a long time to sort out. And so it's just being gated that often is kind of a setback because if you just want to breeze through the story and figure out how it's going to end, you really can't do that. And that kind of sucks. But the game itself, we thought was fantastic. So
yeah, I think the game is cool, and I have no problem with the game. The combat's tough.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I feel like taking anyone above your level on is pretty difficult in that game.
Super
even
hard.
people that are on your level are
Yeah.
difficult.
Mhm. Yeah, and I remember I remember in the beginning of the game, like they had this like, oh, you're in a play or something, and you had to like beat up this like fake guy with all these people watching you, and it was just like a tutorial. I'm like, God, I keep fucking dying.
Yeah. You can swear. You're good.
I didn't know if you could swear.
Too
No.
late.
We can now. After the first of the year, we're going to try and scale it back.
Oh,
but
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
To broaden our audience.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hopefully. Who
By
knows?
saying that, you probably just lost 10 or 20
Yeah, I
people.
know. Whatever. We'll get some more dick jokes. They'll just be a little more under the radar.
We'll have to say penis instead of dick. No, wait, that's not any better, is it?
Wiener.
So, but yeah, I played that, and then a lot over Thanksgiving there was a lot of Jackbox,
yeah, the party pack games
party
are
pack
fantastic.
games. I had never played those, and they are a lot of fun.
Which party pack did you play?
I don't know. I bought a couple of them. We like Fibbage the most.
Fibbage is the best.
It's the best.
It's the most thought
By
out,
far.
I think.
Well, it plays exactly like the game Balderdash, the board game.
Yeah.
Like we played that a ton. That exact game growing up, but it's just a lot easier with the phones.
Yeah.
It
Well,
just-
and that's what we noticed is it's great because most people, when you get people together anyways, they all end up sitting on their phones no matter what. So this kind of like distracts everyone from being
Yeah.
on their phone and using it as a phone and actually like using it as something to like
Unless they
have a
bring two
conversation.
phones.
Yeah, so I was very impressed, and it runs really smoothly.
Yeah.
And it's just a really easy experience. Like anyone can pick it up. So we played that at Thanksgiving. But,
Awesome. Yeah, we love the party pack games. Jackbox games are the shit.
Yeah,
So
they're fun. And then COD, which it's COD.
yeah, nothing new. Call of Duty.
Except this is the most horrible menu system I've ever seen in a COD. The game
Oh,
itself,
yeah, the
menu
menus are
system
terrible.
is so awful.
I can't tell you how many times one of us in my group would back out of the lobby on accident.
Oh, it's a mess. I mean,
Or the matchmaking. Yeah.
how many games have they made with like basically online multiplayer? Shoot 'em up. First person shooting games. It's just ridiculous that this menu is just such a mess. But
I never would have thought that you could screw up a menu. I feel like the controls for menus are usually always the same. X to like proceed and circle to back out.
no, it's like
or
L2 to vote on a map, R2 to like start a match. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I like all the randomized stuff. I don't like people having to vote for things and all that. Just make it random all the time.
Yeah, but those are the games I've been playing.
Cool.
On the topic of Jackbox, I recently got Party Pack 4 because I think we've talked a little bit about each of those as they've come out.
Yeah.
Fibbage 3 is awesome, as usual. But there is a new mode called Fibbage About You. I haven't tried it out yet, but it allows you to answer questions about yourself, and then the people you're playing with have to play Fibbage with those questions.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
So that's cool.
That's awesome.
And then there's 2 new games in there. One of them is called Bracketeering, which is voiced by...
I think we mentioned it last
Yeah,
episode.
we did
we?
talk about this
Yeah.
last episode.
I couldn't... It's hard for me to remember what we've talked about already.
All he's trying to
Bracketeering-
say is Party Pack 4 is worth the money.
really
too.
good.
Party Pack 4.
Party Pack 4.
I also have it
25
on...
at 250.
I have
I
it
wish.
on my Switch.
Actually, I think it is, right? They're $25 each.
Yeah, 25 at
They always go on sale, though.
They do
They're
go on
always
sale.
on sale.
Well, I have it on my Switch. I'm waiting for the other 3 to go on sale
Yeah,
because
so you
it's
can grab 'em.
awesome to have that game.
Two
portably.
was on sale last time I looked.
Yeah,
on Switch.
yeah. I think they've kind of been rolling through, but I'm waiting for.
Let me buy the whole pack.
Yeah.
I'll buy all 4 of them on Switch just so I can take them everywhere I go. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. What else have you played, Alex?
I'm trying to think. I played a game called Never Stop Sneaking. It's came out on the Switch. It is a send up of Metal Gear Solid 1. It's a simplified version of Metal Gear Solid 1. The game essentially auto plays itself. So like you're playing
So
from
it's a
top
movie?
down. Yeah, like a Hideo Kojima game. You're playing from top down. You walk up to, like, if you can sneak up to a guard, you will insta-kill them as you move into them.
That's cool.
If you walk into the vision cone of a guard, if you have bullets, you will immediately shoot them.
So it's like Metal Gear meets like the Go series by Square Enix.
Super easy mode.
Yeah, absolutely. It's totally that.
That's pretty cool.
You can actually play it exclusively with touch controls if you want
Awesome.
to as well. But and then there's like a little bit of a base building mechanic, like you're collecting currency throughout these levels.
Mm-hmm.
And you're building out your base to be able to do different kinds of things. It's kind of it's a little roguelike-ish. But the levels, like the sequence of levels, are randomized, and the final boss that you get for each level is always randomized too. There's like a few different types that you can face off against. It's
Cool.
$15 on the Switch. It's very, very cool. And if you like the stupid zaniness of Hideo Kojima games, you will love Never Stop Sneaking. So that should be something that people check out. And then I'm trying to think if I have played anything else since we last spoke.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
You've been pretty busy.
Yeah. I've played 15 more minutes of Skyrim VR, and facing a dragon is terrifying.
I just killed one today with only arrows. It was the ice dragon at the top of High Hrothgar.
That's awesome. No, like having the dragon walk up and just melt me. I'm like, I can't. What do I do right now? I can't run away from this.
Spam arrows, man.
I can't. I'm not gonna spam arrows because I'm terrified. But I did get the new PSVR set. I have the version 2.0 PSVR helmet.
That has HDR pass-through.
It has HDR pass-through, which is great for somebody like me who has a 4K TV with HDR. But other than that, it's not very different. The headphones that it comes with are fine. They're just like little earbuds that you can plug into the back of the headset and kind of hook it in that way.
Brian didn't like that.
Yeah. Apparently not.
Sony and their cheap earbuds.
Well, I mean, the first one didn't even come with any headphones.
Oh,
Yeah,
so.
it did. Yeah, it did.
Well, okay, it did, but
They were like crappy earbuds though. They
Yeah.
were just earbuds, like plain old white earbuds that you plug into the remote at the cord and then you just put them in your ears.
it's interesting because the first PSVR breakout box that doesn't do HDR pass-through looks like the first PS4, and the new one looks more like the Slim and the Pro.
So it's got
that's
like
funny.
rounded corners and stuff.
Yeah, it's a little more rounded. It's got like the triple decker thing of the Pro going
Yeah.
on.
Like a sandwich.
It doesn't have that like glowy light on it. It's just got like a single solid light. So that's not quite like that. But no, it's very nice build. That cord is much longer. It's slimmer. There's only one cord from the
feel like
headset to the box.
That's nice.
Yeah. So it's a nice thing. Is it worth buying a whole new set? No, but you can do what I did and sell your old one to a friend who wants to get into VR.
Really wants VR, yeah.
And it worked out pretty nice for everybody. I paid more than I probably should just to make it so that I don't have to take everything apart when I want HDR. in my video games.
The
Worth
1.0
convenience.
Yeah.
the 1.0 headset with Gran Turismo is currently $200 at Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. No move controllers, of course.
Haven't heard great things about Gran Turismo, but
Doesn't
actually,
matter.
I think
PSVR is worth buying
yeah,
no matter what.
yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of reminded at how nice it actually looks trying it. Like I tried Skyrim VR yesterday, but go on.
Yeah, I haven't used it since that last time I was over
When we
here.
did like Resident
I
Evil.
mean, I've used the Vive quite a bit, but
yeah, because your brother has
yeah, my
one.
brother's got it for the PC, but I have not messed around too much. I don't have a Pro though. I mean, how does it look on a regular PlayStation?
It looks great.
It looks okay. Yeah, it looks fine. Like I
mean, the pros definitely, like, as someone who, because I had the game that I tried on both systems. I've tried the game Bound on the regular, and I've tried Bound on the Pro, and it's definitely cleaner looking.
Sure.
But it's not like the performance isn't any different. It's just you get a little more of a crispy look to the game.
It depends on the game, though.
Yeah,
Like,
and it would
they'll
depend on
target
who's
different
actually
things.
taking advantage of the Pro's capabilities or not. Which Bound did. They actually said the developers of Bound said they were going to implement Pro capabilities, so it does look cleaner. I've heard Skyrim looks really blurry on the regulars, but I mean when we get into talking about Skyrim, we can talk about some Skyrim.
Yeah, you know, it like I think the Pro is a nice upgrade. I wouldn't call it a necessary one for PSVR quite yet, but you know, it's pretty modular, so you can always upgrade your Pro, of course.
Yeah.
I just put a new hard drive in my PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was actually, I think somebody was running a deal. You were able to get a PS4 Pro and the Gran Turismo VR bundle for a total of about $500.
That's a
as of late.
steal.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
good
So
deal.
having full VR capability at $500 is
Nice.
the cheapest.
And
you
a
can
fully
get.
capable standalone console with that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
You don't have to build a $750 PC, $1,500 PC to be
Yeah.
able to do it. So
Yeah.
So that's more about right.
yeah. So, well, yeah. Not saying you'd want to
Or
play VR on the
2200.
700.
Yeah, you know, whatever you do.
But yeah, no. Other than that, I think that's it. I might think of something later, but
What about you, Brian? Anything else you want to talk about?
A little bit of a lot of things.
Yeah. You've been busy.
Yeah.
Very busy.
Well, I bought Pyre during that one sale. I
Yep.
tried it a little bit. pretty much stopped right away. I just wasn't like into it.
Yeah.
I'll give it another chance. I'm sure I'll like it because I liked. It's what Supergiant. I think that makes that. I liked both of their other games quite a bit.
Yeah. Transistor and
Bastion. But it's like the gameplay is just weird, and I just was like wasn't buying into it right away.
It looked weird in the
previews. I'm just gonna
previews.
play something else. But like the art style and stuff's cool.
Yeah.
I heard it like it has a good story and stuff, but yeah, it's like a weird like magical sport game you're playing against people.
Interesting.
It's strange. Yeah. I can't even describe it. I tried a mod for Doom 3 BFG edition.
Okay.
It's a VR fully possessed mod, and it looks awesome. Like it works pretty well with the touch controllers. Like I tried it with the Rift, and yeah, it's like it has some issues when there's like in-game cinematic things going on.
Okay.
Where it kind of places you in a weird random spot in the room, and like, except it's still in VR, so it doesn't quite work right because you can look around and totally ruin the scene. Where you'll like clip into an object or whatever, but like the actual like shooting mechanics and stuff are sweet. Like once I finally got a pistol and I got the flashlight, I had the flashlight in my left hand and the pistol in the right, and you could aim like separately, and
That's
it was just
sweet.
awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it was terrifying too.
Straight up
like,
X-Files.
It's an old game, but it was still terrifying.
Can you change the way the flashlight is oriented in your hand so you can actually hold it like this?
He's just trying to
like
or do you have to do it?
yeah, like
is it-
Mulder and Scully do
Yeah.
in X-Files.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
that would
I
be
mean,
rad. I would be a.
I want an X-Files game now.
They should make the PSVR aim that's really like contorted like that, so you can just. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. But I had an issue. Like I died because I forgot how difficult it was to play that game, having not played it in so long, especially with the touch controllers, and freaking out because there's an actual like a zombie thing that actually looks like it's in my face.
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
first run-in
Yeah,
with the zombie in that
that game is so dark too. But yeah, so I reloaded my game and it started all the way back from the beginning. It like didn't save my game properly.
That sucks.
The other cool thing about it though is like when you bring up the PDA that has like your info and stuff in it and like the menu shit, it actually like comes up in your hand. It's like
That's
a 3D
cool.
object. You can
Yeah.
turn around and stuff. And they actually implemented voice commands.
Sweet.
Like you can go up to an NPC and actually talk if you have your microphone on to initiate a conversation instead of
Is it like talking to
clicking
Siri?
on them. I mean, no, because it doesn't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It just
Can
it
you
starts
can
the
you walk up
conversation.
behind a dude and be like, "Loser says what?" And then it like starts.
And
the,
they look at you. I don't
What?
really know.
What? Huh?
The textures could definitely be better, but they're not as outdated as they should be because I installed like another mod that upgrades the textures and upgrades the models for all the characters, and they look a lot better. Like the face models are really good.
Are there clean faces? Nobody gets that joke. Okay. There's a mod for Skyrim with clean faces.
Where everyone's face looks clean.
Yeah. Instead of looking
like,
dirty.
filthy.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be filthy.
Exactly.
Most of them are peasants.
But sometimes you want your Skyrim people
you want
looking
clean peasants.
So you install the clean faces mod.
Yeah.
There's also like diaper mods and shit for Skyrim.
Yeah,
So.
there's a lot, isn't there? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting soon. I'm starting Skyrim.
The problem is when
Webby's taking suggestions.
So diaper mod.
the
Let's put
diaper
that one
mod,
on.
the higher textures, the diaper mod,
Clean faces.
the clean faces mod, the one to make water look more like water.
The look up E&B. That'll give you some crazy advances in graphical technology.
Yeah, there are
Okay.
like 2 mods you can install
Yeah.
that make the game look nuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
It'll like
Even
make,
from the enhanced edition.
it'll make
Oh, okay.
Skyrim look better than like games that came out this year.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. So I played more stuff. Sorry. Did we talk about Destiny 2 last time or not?
No,
The
not
Curse of
really.
Osiris, is that out yet?
No, because we recorded on the Thursday and that episode came out before that
Right.
update even
Before
came out.
Osiris.
Yeah.
So there's Destiny 2 DLC out.
Well, we played that.
We played
and
Osiris.
It was
It's not worth $20.
Yeah.
Essentially,
I'm
it's
just
fun. The
kinda-
story's cool, but it's not worth the money.
Yeah, we
right now.
finished the whole story.
Corey put a
in
picture
couple
in the
hours, no problem.
in the Discord that had a limited time weapon.
Yeah.
Did anybody
I
figure
don't know
out what
about that
is?
stuff. That was a different update that came out the 12th, where
Okay.
they added like those. What are they called? Like masterwork weapons. or
Okay.
whatever
Sure,
the hell
yeah.
I don't know what the name is, but
It goes away after the reset, apparently.
That's so stupid.
Okay, that's stupid. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
well,
what I
he had
wanted.
to like it was a new thing where you have to collect enough tokens to unlock it first, and then you have to have tokens to buy it. So it's just they're making the game worse, and it's awful. And I don't really want to play it
I
anymore.
played 5 minutes of
Osiris.
and I'm like, when that game came out, I played it nonstop.
Yeah.
For
We all did.
2-3 weeks, nonstop.
Even Alex.
And
Yeah,
I'm like,
we
oh
were-
my god, this is awesome. They fixed all the issues, and then you kind of realize.
Oh
the
my
same
god, I've
issues-
gotten 10 of the same gun, and
You
they're
realize
always going to be the same
The
Well,
forever.
issues are
and
still there.
The big thing that a lot of people were talking about online is how like a lot of the things we loved about Destiny 1 happened because of the live team, not because of the dev team. Like the live team
Sure.
took over and implemented a lot of these changes, and that's what this is showing us is that there literally was zero communication between the live team and the dev team that was working on D2. So like all of these
Yeah.
changes that happened that were all like quality of life changes that made D1 a great game weren't implemented because the dev team, it's like they weren't even playing their own fucking game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
here's the thing, and I think this applies to the Star Wars movie that just came out, is that there's two large groups of people in both of these millions of people fan bases that are there. There's the people that want one thing and the people that want the other thing. Destiny 2
Nobody
made
wants
it.
something in between.
Destiny 2 made it so that I don't have to play the game as much as I did the first time around.
Right.
That's everything I wanted. I'm never going to touch it again. I'm moving on with my life. Thumbs up. You made the game I wanted, but it's everything that all of those other people don't want.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they're big enough that they will not be able to please everybody.
Right.
And so they have to it's going to come to a head. Do you please the people that just want to come and play the game, check it out, or do you please the people that are going to stick with you and maybe spend money, but probably not, because who spends money on Destiny? But anyway,
I think you'd be very surprised. I think there's people spending money on Destiny.
Oh, for
no,
sure.
it's true.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
whales
Yeah.
for every game that you can buy loot boxes in, but I
I think I
ultimately-
spent close to $100 on loot boxes in Rocket League over the past year and a half.
and that's if
very
that's,
easily.
Yeah, if that's your prerogative or it's a game
It's
that
a $20
you like.
game. I have no problem doing that.
I got
Yeah.
it for free, so I
Yeah,
didn't feel bad
exactly.
buying the game again on Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of that. But in terms of Bungie's conflict of who are we trying to make happy here and what game are we making, I think they could have gone one way or they could have gone the other way, and either way there's going to be people that don't.
Yeah,
like
I don't know how they're gonna dig themselves out of this hole. And ultimately, like I love Destiny for the story. Like I think it's a really awesome narrative, and I liked Osiris for the narrative because I like figuring. Like I liked actually putting a face to the name and like seeing what the hell he's capable of. Like
Yeah.
that's cool. Like to finally see all that.
But it was also really underwhelming because not
Yeah.
that much happened.
Yeah, it really. I mean, the final boss fight was like pretty cool.
The final boss fight I thought was actually, it wasn't as cinematic as the Gaul fight, but
Yeah.
it was more fun. I thought.
Can you get
There's more going on.
Can you get Osiris's chicken suit?
I don't know if you can get his get up.
Okay. Because
You
if
mean
not, then it's not.
I
worth
think
it.
you
I'll
can-
leave it out.
you can
Yeah.
get
no,
it-
thank
no,
you.
no way.
Pretty sure you can get that armor in Horizon Zero Dawn. So
Oh,
it's
okay. All right.
But
Yeah.
so yeah.
But ultimately,
that's-
it was DLC, much like The Dark Below and House of Wolves, where if you have the season pass, like you already paid for it or whatever, like it is what it is. I don't think it's worth anybody spending money on right now until they actually figure this shit
Well,
out. Which I don't know.
Yeah, I
if
mean the
they're-
same thing happened with House of Wolves.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it was
the
it's
exact
same thing.
I'll pick it up in September 2018 when they put out The Given Queen, and
the Giving Queen.
The giving.
Yeah, not the
the
Taken
Given
King,
Queen.
but the Given Queen.
I know that was a little high level, but
I don't think he likes it.
No.
Okay.
What else have you played, Brian?
Yeah, he's a little stickler today. On these jokes, he's a tough audience.
Brian's the
I
toughest
didn't
critic.
eat dinner, okay?
You had a cookie.
Yeah.
He's a little angry.
Now I'm I'm crashing off those 2 sugar cookies. Divinity Original Sin 2. I started trying to chip away at that. The writing is hilarious sometimes, and it's pretty awesome. Like, I like all the party characters you can get and stuff, and I don't think I've discovered all of them yet. But as far as I've read without trying to spoil stuff for myself, I was actually reading. I was looking for tips on how to fucking play the game because it's so hard. But I think you can get all the party members in the initial area, but then like once you leave, you have to decide who's going to stay with you for the rest of the game. That's how that works, I guess. But yeah, the game's difficult. Like, I've played my fair share of turn-based games and stuff, and I do fairly well usually, like with XCOM and stuff like that, but it's nothing like that. There's just so many variables in like how the different systems can work together, and like, yeah, it's like I don't really understand it, and they don't really like the controls are simple to understand, but all the other underlying things going on, like how certain spells affect other spells, and like trying to work in environmental hazards at the same time. Like they'll have like random like explosive barrels lying around, or like a barrel full of water or something. Just trying to figure all that stuff out is like kind of overwhelming when they don't really explain any of it.
Did you play the first one?
No.
Okay.
But I
I
mean-
wonder if that one's any better at it, because it is.
I doubt it. Not from what I've understand.
Okay.
From what I've heard from other people.
Because I feel like I don't think it happens that often, but for a game to go from the first one to the sequel, sometimes they forget what they've taught you and what they haven't.
Yeah. True.
But
I think I'll figure it out. I'm
Yeah.
definitely I'm into it. Like, it's a cool game for sure. It looks great too, and like the voice acting and everything's just good.
cool.
And I've heard from people that have played the first one, it's just like better in every single way. Even though the first one was pretty good, the first one's good and this one's excellent. You know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. It does have multiplayer too, but I want to play through on my own first before I start dragging in other people to watch me suck at it. And dragging down their experience. I also started to try to get into Prey 2, or as well. Not Prey 2. It's
Prey 2017.
It was
also.
it was going to be Prey 2, but then they canceled that, and now it's just Prey. But yeah, that's cool. Like, again, that one's kind of difficult too. It's hard to get into, but I feel like once I really get sucked in, I'm going to really enjoy it.
Basically, you need to find the shotgun, and you need to be able to make shotgun shells.
I need
and
to
then
find
I'm like, okay.
a gun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really sick of whacking at those stupid little shadow thing, the mimics,
Yeah.
with my wrench.
And it feels horrible. Like, there's.
It feels good on PC.
Okay.
Like, it was horrible on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I think that's why I didn't end up buying it, because I tried it on there originally.
And you're just like trying to look.
Yeah,
and
like on
track 'em.
PC, it feels perfect because it is very much like a spiritual successor to System Shock games.
Yeah.
And System Shock was only on PC.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's gonna be a fun game for sure, but it's just overwhelmingly
need it in
difficult
VR so I
sometimes
can
right now.
Hold the wrench out and just do this at
those-
the mimic.
yeah,
and
Those
kill it.
mimics scare
Wave
the
it at 'em.
shit out of me too.
I don't like scary games. I just don't play
Well,
them.
it's all jump scares because like
Yeah.
any.
that shit drives me nuts.
Do you know how Prey works? With
I
the
have not
mimics?
played Prey, no.
The mimic enemy can be any object in a room.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So all of a sudden it'll just change from like a coffee cup to its own form, and it's like a shadowy, like slender.
So it's like
Yeah, I
it's
don't
like
wanna
a
play
crab
it's
of
a
shadow basically, and
it's a scavenging
It'll just
type
jump
game.
all over the
So it
place.
encourages you to shoot at everything, but then also gives you no ammo to do it with. So you're just kind
Yeah.
of like
My general strategy is to go into a room and whack the shit out of all the inanimate objects,
Oh, I was
and
basically.
then start exploring.
I think I told you guys I was basically running into a room, quick saving, shooting the shotgun, reloading, and then going and hitting the thing that popped out with my wrench.
But
See, that does not like that sounds like so like my anxiety would be going crazy. Like no ammo. I don't know what's coming. It just sounds absolutely awful.
the plus side is it's not in VR.
The
I
craziest.
watched you play
if
Resident
it was,
Evil.
it'd be like the craziest version of Job Simulator ever. You like walk into an office and there's like coffee cups everywhere, and you're just smashing them, and they turn into crazy beasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, God, that just sounds
Yeah,
awful.
it's not as scary as Resident
It gets
Evil.
better when you.
The graphics aren't.
It gets better when you
terrible.
find recipes for weapon ammo and.
Oh, I
find
don't doubt
weapons
it.
and
Yeah,
stuff like
it's
that.
just it's
The-
gonna take a little
The
while.
onboarding experience is not.
No,
It doesn't.
but it
feel
wasn't in
good.
System Shock games either, and
Yeah.
I finished both of those, so I think I
Yep.
can handle it. Yeah, I played a little bit of other things too, but they're not really worth mentioning. Other than
Rainbow Six.
more PUBG, but we're gonna talk about that later, right?
Yeah.
And then Rainbow Six, that's worth mentioning. That's a
We-
game I was very much on the fence getting it when it came out, and now I totally regret it because I've only played it like 2 days now, and it's like
awesome.
the most fun I've had with a competitive shooter.
It's a
in
ton of
years.
fun.
I was looking at getting it this. It was on sale this weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
On Steam, yeah.
Well,
But we picked it
don't
up.
have
We got it on. We got it on
Steam.
PS4,
Yeah.
and we've got a crew on there we're playing with, and it's awesome.
Yeah, my brother and I were looking at getting it, and it just people just love it.
It's a ton of fun, and
Yeah.
it's really it's a different level of competitive shooter. I feel like it actually takes a little bit of skill to play, and it's just it's different. I don't
Sure.
know. Like it's cool the way it's set up. Of like every round is like you're either attacking or you're defending a specific situation.
But there's randomness to that too.
Yeah.
Like it's not always in the same spot in the building that you're gonna be defending.
So this is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. Came out in 1998 on the Windows PC, and
No,
Okay.
No.
Rainbow Six Siege.
oh, okay,
Sorry.
all right.
I think stuff came. Mappa was texting me. He's like, ask them about Ghost
That's a great
Recon
game, though.
Wildlands, the Predator.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
they just
Predator
put the
thing?
Predator out in Wildlands. I haven't played it yet.
No, yeah, I haven't done that.
I don't
yet.
think Gojo has.
I
Either,
probably
'cause
will.
He's been busy.
I did
but-
hunt down the. They had Bigfoot last year, like I want to say around this time.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was interesting, but Bigfoot ended up just being a sniper. It was kind of disappointing. Hopefully, this is actually the Predator.
Is it Bigfoot
It is.
from
It
like
is
Harry and the
actually the
Hendersons?
Predator. Like he like taunts you and
Just
like,
go away.
Sweet.
from what I
Go
read.
home. We don't want you here.
From what I read, you have to like hunt down the predator, and he's like hunting you at the same time. And he like if like you can unlock different weapons that give you like predator vision and like shit like that. So
That seems pretty rad.
yeah, it seems really cool. One of the video game websites was like, this is dumb and this is why, and I was just like, I'm not even gonna read that because you're just gonna ruin my fun. Like it's probably pretty cool.
Yeah, Wildlands
But-
is great. It sounds like Ubisoft has been doing pretty well.
They're killing
supporting
it,
their
man.
games
They're
for
killing it.
longer.
Yeah.
And
Like
good on them, man. Because I'm pumped for Far Cry 5. Like I'm so ready for that game.
I've heard middling things about that one, especially as of late, because I think there was a preview event. And
Yeah.
apparently the whole story pales in comparison to Wolfenstein 2. But anyway,
Yeah, I played a very little bit of that as well.
yeah. But
Didn't get that far.
We did play PUBG on Xbone.
How is it?
Uh,
I've seen a lot of. I mean, I'm on the PUBG Reddit, and they're just filled with people posting these like horrible like
it's
videos. But
okay. So
I'm sure that's not all of the time. You know,
the game, the only issue I've run into with it is there's obviously frame rate issues. That who cares? It's still playable,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the biggest issue we've had is like lobby problems where like I'm in a match and I'm invited to another match with like Brian and other friends. So when I left my match to join theirs, it pulled me out and then put me right back into the same match I was in. Stuff like that where it's
Plus,
not quite
how-
as
how are-
smooth.
How are the controls?
The controls are fantastic.
I'm just
actually.
curious. 'cause
There's
so,
a lot of them, but they managed to do as good of a job as could possibly be done.
They fit
mapping it all to the
everything that you
controller.
can do
Yeah.
on a mouse and keyboard
Everything.
into a controller, and it works. Like they did a really great job of that.
that was one of my biggest questions going into it.
Yeah.
Is how are they going to?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Make the controller mapping of that game.
Yeah, they did not dumb the game down whatsoever.
Well, that's cool.
However, because people don't have amazing aim with a controller, and there is no aim assists,
No.
just like regular PUBG, you can get away with some hilarious shit. Like you can just pretty much just run right up to people if you're really good at strafing, and they just can't hit you.
Yeah,
it's different. And
Sure.
then like we've had like I was playing yesterday, and I think I was playing with Jim, and like we were in a car, and then there was another person in a car. And we were like in a high speed chase. And we were both trying to shoot each other. Neither of us could hit each other at all, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
just
it's-
stuff like that. In the PC version, both cars would have been blown up by then.
it's
yeah.
not. This is everyone's like worried about it being early access on Xbox. Like, oh my God, we're releasing games in this level of condition now. Like that's a thing. And
Well,
it's like,
it doesn't crash.
But I
No,
mean, well, not for you guys, but
Yeah.
I've seen lots of reports of crashing and also controller disconnect messages when
I-
the
yeah.
controller is still actually.
I was getting
connected.
that today, and all I did
Yeah.
was restart my system, and it worked. It didn't. It
Yeah,
never
no big
happened.
deal.
It never happened in game while I was playing. It was only happening to me in the menus.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I will say though, even though it is early access, I mean, at least on PC, they've been doing a good job of putting out updates.
right, and
They
that's
added the vaulting. You know, you got the new map, and you know, it doesn't seem like it's going to be in that early access purgatory.
well, and that's
See-
what I was gonna say is that I think this is the sort of game that it's so popular and it has enough of a following already, and enough people are gonna buy it on Xbox to begin with that I don't understand why Microsoft or Bluehole don't just make the investment in having somebody clean up the game to where it'll just run smooth. Like,
Well,
I don't
they've
know if it's
apparently
just
been throwing. You remember that part in World War Z where like all the zombies were like crawling so fast they like built a mountain on top of each other
Yeah.
to get over the wall?
yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't
think
see
that's
the movie.
Bluehole
Thanks for
right now.
spoiling it.
There was no. That's not a spoiler because it's like every
I know,
shot
it's
of
in
the
the
movie.
preview.
But that's Bluehole right now. That's them putting PUBG on the Xbox. Is they're just like taking a human and throwing them at the computer and hoping that it ports itself somehow. Because Microsoft is like, hey, we should maybe put a video game out on our system right now since we put the Xbox One X out.
no, I'm sure there's
And
more
it's
to
just-
it than that. But
I don't think there is because they've got a 1.0 release coming out on PC this week.
Yeah.
Give it another month. Give
Yeah.
it another 2 months. Put it out when it's not
yeah,
garbage.
ultimately,
Like
I think
what are they charging for it on?
It's
Xbox?
$30.
$30.
But that's the thing.
Same
Like, it's
price.
$30. It's early access. Everyone's worried that they're gonna drop like production.
Well,
They're never going to drop production on it
They
because
have
it's
enough
going to sell
money.
well. Yeah.
But
It's going
I,
to be fine. The only way they'll drop production on it is if they put the game out and it's so bad that everybody bounces off of it and doesn't touch it again.
I think the way it's currently running and when compared to Fortnite, they just need to step up their game a little bit more in order to polish it.
Just
Just
considerably more
enough.
complex than Fortnite, though. And the
It
map
is.
way bigger.
wait. I played Fortnite for the first time last night, and it is a completely different. I mean, it just
There's room for both of them.
Sure, I agree.
I finally accepted that fact. I mean, I was diehard like Fortnite's a ripoff. I don't want to play it for a while, but I don't think it's better.
Oh, and
A lot
I
of people
hated it
seem to
on
like it
PC,
better.
but I love it on
I don't think it's
console. I
better.
think Fortnite on console is fantastic. On PC, I hate it though.
I like
it does
better on
run well
PC.
on the PlayStation.
Oh,
I was
it
playing
runs
runs
fantastic
great.
on PlayStation, and it's a lot of fun to play with your friends. It's it's just one of those games that's great to play with your friends. But I really hope that Bluehole and Microsoft take some time and money and like really clean up PUBG because I want it to succeed. I want it to be.
It's a great game.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
a ton of fun.
It's a
and,
lot of fun.
and I like how much more complex it is than Fortnite. And
It's going to get there regardless.
As it is
just-
right now, it is definitely playable, though.
They've just gotten to this point where they were like, we promised people we'd hit 1.0 on the PC by the end of the year. Also, we told people it's coming to Xbox. Also, Microsoft said, let's get a video game out. We'll give you more people to do this. Like, I think they're just split in two different directions right now. And hopefully as soon as 1.0 is out and they get the bugs worked out of that one,
yeah,
they can actually dedicate some time to the Xbox version and clean it up and get it working straight. Because
Yeah.
that's...
How long is it an Xbox exclusive? Is there like a time?
I think a year.
A year.
That's gotten a little more foggy since Microsoft is actually putting
Money
money
into
and
it.
people into it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not clear anymore
Yeah.
Yeah.
how that is going to work out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think with Fortnite, eating their lunch on any platform they're not on, they kind of get a little bit more jittery about the idea of not being on that platform. So
Sure.
But I mean, how much money are they making off their cosmetic items and stuff?
Enough.
Because they don't
Who
charge
knows?
anything for that.
They're
game.
making enough because I've played enough people wearing that bullshit skeleton costume. they're making a
Fair
ton
enough.
of money
do
on
you
that
have
shit.
to pay for the 50v50 or no?
No.
No,
okay.
it's free.
That's still free, but the
That-
main
that was-
game is
that's
not
The,
true,
free.
the 50
right?
v 50 is a shitload of fun too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
The-
I would like to see a PUBG 50.
That'd be sweet.
that'd be pretty cool.
But yeah, in general, I just I think like Brian said, there's room for both games, Fortnite and PUBG. We've been playing a lot of Fortnite too, and again, when I first played it on PC, I was not interested in the least bit. Playing it on console on PlayStation with Corey and Gladish, it's a shitload of fun.
I think that's just like where we come from as gamers, because I think it's way better on PC.
well,
Because
the
the building commands and stuff are just so much easier.
first thing you said about PUBG,
Quicker.
John, when you tried it was, I can't wait to try this with a controller on Xbox.
yeah.
So I think it's
Well, and playing,
you live because then like
but
I
it's
remember-
also the like just the in general. When I'm playing a third-person game, I want to play it with a controller.
Yeah.
And PUBG on Xbox in third-person feels fantastic.
yeah.
If it were first-person, I don't know if I'd like it as much, to be honest with you.
That's one of the couple things it's missing is it doesn't have the locked first person mode
Okay.
setting,
You
which
can
bums
toggle,
me out
though.
because I really like the first person mode.
It doesn't have it on Xbox.
Not yet,
Okay.
but I'm sure they'll
Um,
get it.
And also, you can't lock your squad in any way. Like at
Yeah,
least
so
I haven't
if-
been
in
able to
PUBG?
figure it out.
Yeah, so
and I
if
can't
you're
find out.
playing squads and you only have 3 people, it'll bring your fourth person in, like for you. And
Except it didn't work. The first day of release when we were trying to play, it would not work. It would not find anyone to matchmake with us.
That's
So
weird.
we just couldn't play with the
Yeah.
3 of us. So like we had to play 1 solo and 2 as a duo. It was kind of lame.
yeah, so we've been playing a lot of Rainbow Six, a lot of PUBG, a lot of Fortnite, and like all that competitiveness right there. And then I busted out. Alex got me Skyrim VR for Christmas and gave it to me early. I don't like if anybody is still just not convinced that VR is the thing, you're a fucking moron.
I am.
Because holy shit, Skyrim VR is a completely different game. And everything about it is so awesome.
It was very cool. It was one of the few VR games where it's like when I put that on and I was looking around fucking Skyrim in VR, I was like,
Yeah.
I could probably do this for hours.
Yeah.
Except I hate those move controllers. They're stupid.
You just got to get used to them, man.
I don't. They're just. I just don't want to hold a stupid wands in my hand. It's. I don't like them.
God, you're very.
Well, I
picky.
come from a bad place because I have the touch controllers for Rift.
Oh,
and
the
they're
Rift,
just so
yeah,
much
yeah.
better. In
Yeah, I
every
like
way.
those Vive. I like the Vive ones. They feel awesome.
Well, again, and it's like Alex said last episode, if Sony would just push out some nicer
Yeah, it's like
controllers,
just reshape them into the touch
and a-
controllers
and a
put
couple of
analog sticks
lighthouse-
on 'em.
tower sensors that made tracking better, like he would throw money at it.
Yeah.
So would I. And like with as cheap as the headsets are now for PSVR, like why not just upgrade them and charge $500 for them? Like
I'd rather
mean-
hold 2 DualShock sideways than hold 2 move controllers. Like,
That-
that-
I haven't seen them.
that sounds fucking stupid.
it looks like you're trying to wave a plane into the runway or whatever.
That's only if you're playing with like the axes or dual
It's just
swords.
it's
or
hard.
anything.
Like if you're not used to them, which even if you are used to them, I just feel like being blinded by having the headset on, not being able to see the controller, the button placement is really awkward.
It is.
It's hard to like just remember where they all are.
And again, like the Move controllers came out with PlayStation 3, and I'm assuming they just had a fucking
Here's your
a
microphone.
warehouse of them.
oh, it's a stick with a ping pong ball
And
on it.
because they had a warehouse of these sitting around, they were probably like, "We need to do something with these. Let's just
you
make
hate
them
this
work with VR."
It
Well,
lights up.
No, like the button placement's weird because
It is
if you
kinda
look
weird.
at
It's
the
really
like the
weird.
normal PlayStation placement, it's in a diamond shape. On the Move controllers, it's in a square shape. So people get confused by that, and it's an easy thing to get confused about.
You can.
Oh,
you
would-
You can literally hold the controller up to your face in Skyrim and see what the buttons are.
Yeah, you can. If you put your weapons away, you can do that.
Then
but-
I have to figure out the buttons to put my weapons away.
Anyways,
just
you're
X.
ruining my moment of just like showering everyone in Skyrim because
Why
it
are
is
they
the,
like? they're like squishy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It
Yeah.
is. It is the greatest VR
it?
experience that I currently own, and I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming it'll get better than this somewhere down the line. But like being able to play Skyrim in VR is incredible. Everything about it rules. I have very small gripes with it. For one, they're not even gripes. They're suggestions that I think Bethesda can implement. It needs some kind of lock-on mechanism for when you're doing a melee fight, so you can circle strafe something. I would love
Get
to
good.
see. Yeah, shut up. I would love to see the ability for like a person to pick up a DualShock controller and play as my companion, because companions usually get in the way.
That would be really cool.
If you're relying on AI, and you can see everything on the TV, and there are games that work in VR where someone is using the headset and the Move controllers, and everybody else, you can have 4 people playing with controllers.
Well,
So-
Skyrim doesn't have multiplayer, and that's why that feature
I understand,
doesn't
but they can
exist.
add that to this, is what I'm saying.
it's a
That
thing they could do.
I really don't want another version of Skyrim coming out.
This
Skyrim multiplayer edition. Another $60.
I maintain if they let me transfer saves, I'd buy that Switch version in a fucking heartbeat. I take my money.
yeah.
It's sitting here in my wallet.
Or if they just gave you the option to skip the intro, you'd probably still buy it too.
I
Yeah,
would
just
pay a microtransaction for that.
If anyone is on the fence for
$5 to take
VR,
content out.
you should no longer be on the fence for VR, is what it boils down to.
Well, and
Like,
that's one of the things that we didn't really talk about it. Sony's been sending an email saying we will give you a PlayStation VR for free, the Skyrim bundle for free to try
for
for
14 days.
days.
Yeah, when I found out about that, they were all gone.
Yeah. Well, they've
I'm
only
sure-
offered it to a certain amount of people.
I guarantee every single one of those people bought it. Like,
And at the end of it, you had to give them your credit card number, of course. And at the end of it, if you wanted to keep it, they would charge you $300 for everything you got, which
So
is
it
a
was a better
steal
deal
on
anyways,
that
yeah.
bundle. But it's a great way for people to try it out. But if you have not tried out VR, find a friend who's got it.
and do it.
Give
will,
us a call.
It'll
Drive
change
up to
your life.
Michigan.
Yeah,
Come see us,
it's interesting.
and you can play some
Yeah.
VR.
So, anyways, we got to zip through our news.
Yeah.
We've played a lot of stuff, guys. What are we doing first? The Dawning.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make this one quick because nobody actually cares about Destiny anymore. But the Dawning is going to be launched on
I'll still
December
play the
19th.
Dawning.
They're starting the Dawning. There's going to be snowball fights. Who gives a fuck? They're adding hockey. Nobody gives a shit about that either.
I
They're
do care
adding
about
mayhem
that.
to the Crucible again, which is cool if you could choose your fucking Crucible mode, but you can't because Bungie sucks. There's going to be all kinds of milestones for the winter, but nobody actually cares. And you can give gifts and receive gifts, I guess, but you probably have to fucking pay silver for that bullshit and use your real money, which is fucking garbage. So who gives a shit? Nobody.
That's cool looking stuff.
Yeah, it's all right.
How much do I have to play to get all that?
You actually
There's
will.
a big puck on the field.
Yeah, there's a
instead of
giant hockey puck in the
They
hangar.
really worked on the detail of that. You know what? What I will say here, there was one year where I came home and Gojo and Nick and everybody were on Grand Theft Auto, and it was
The Winterfest
Christmas Eve, and I
and-
put in Grand Theft Auto, and there was snow on the ground.
and snowball fights that could
That
kill
was
people.
the best.
That was so awesome.
It was the best Grand Theft Auto ever.
This probably isn't going to be that cool.
No, no way in hell.
So
They had all that cool Christmas attire too,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
there was
sweet penguin masks and hats.
I think
and
there
stuff.
was some sort of weapon or something that was related. Maybe
No.
not.
Yeah, but anyways, it starts December 19th, this Tuesday coming up, and it ends on Tuesday, January 19th. If you
January
care,
9th.
January 19th. If you care about that, let us know what you think. Send us some feedback. But we don't. Next up, net neutrality was repealed thanks to the government, and this is a big deal for gamers
Yeah.
and indie devs and just regular devs alike. Basically, these rules from net neutrality were put in place to make sure that the internet stays open and free for everyone. But essentially, what is speculative moving forward is that the ISPs are going to be locking down fast lanes and prioritizing content. And what this does for indie developers and people like us running podcasts is it kind of puts us on the back burner. And people won't pay attention to us because they won't be able to access our content. Or the big thing that bothers me the most is that moving forward with my Comcast plan, Comcast might say, well, we see you play a lot of video games on your network. You're streaming a lot. So you're going to have to pay this like streamable video game package as an additional package to your normal internet. I'm not into that. I think that's stupid, and I don't want to do that.
Before these rules even came into effect in 2015, Netflix was being jerked around by most of the big ISPs. They would come to people and say, hey, you know what? We're Comcast. We also have cable offerings, and people are leaving us to go to you. So we're going to slow down your traffic unless you want to give us a lot of money. And then maybe we're okay with that.
Well, they definitely gave him something. Cause I'll tell you, Netflix is on my Comcast box.
No, well, yeah, it certainly came around. It got to the point where with these rules, they could no longer do that to Netflix. But also, Netflix was paying that money because people were like, God, Netflix sucks on my Comcast right now. And then they would quit. And they would get rid of their Netflix.
Right.
So the idea that they could be like, hey, Sony, you want to have faster updates than Xbox?
Hey, Sony, we see you're offering PlayStation Vue, which is a cable service via your network, and this person is on Comcast. So
we're going to slow that down.
We're going to slow it down and make the video quality garbage so they cancel and switch to Comcast. Like, all these things are possible. They're not happening right now, but it's very possible that this is going to ruin everything that we love. Like, literally everything I love to do, music, video games, movies, everything I like doing is going to be ruined by the repeal of net neutrality.
Well, I mean, we don't know everything yet.
No, it's speculative. This is pure speculation. Nobody knows for sure, but the reality is they've already done shit like this in the past. For instance, AT&T was throttling iPhone users, and they couldn't use FaceTime on AT&T's network. One of the main features of the iPhone at one point. That's bullshit because they didn't want people using a free call service, essentially, to call people that they care about and love. The internet is the main thing everybody uses to communicate nowadays. All of your cell phone plans, I don't call people ever anymore. I text or I send people messages via Discord. That's all over the network via internet. It's not via any kind of cell tower other than they're giving me internet access. So they're going to ruin everything we love.
Well,
is what it boils
it's all
down
because
to.
so many people are now cutting the cord with cable. I know more people now than ever that do not have cable. At all.
Yeah, cable sucks.
Yep.
It's
if
awful.
it wasn't so ridiculously expensive in the first place, maybe people wouldn't have left it.
Anyway.
But not only that, but people like to choose their own content. They don't want to get stuck with crap they don't watch. Like, you got to sign up for cable. You're paying for 15 sports channels you don't even watch.
Like, I have cable right now, and when I was living at my mom's, I watched so much like Science Channel, Discovery Channel, History Channel. If I want those like 3 extra channels, it's an extra $40 to my package.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm going without them right now. I watch a lot of sports still, so I have my sports channels. But
it makes sense for some people, but it doesn't make sense for everybody.
But I watch my Netflix and my Plex account. We all have, my cousin and my brother. We all have our Plex and just stream to each other, and it's great.
And the biggest issue I had with all this is the entire time all this is going down with net neutrality, and I don't mean to get super political with everything right now because this is a video game podcast, but like just the smug bullshit, like everything that the 3 main dudes that basically said no to net neutrality, just the way they were treating it as if like they're doing something good for everyone, but everyone knows they're not.
Don't you want the internet to be free and unregulated?
Then don't make me pay for it. Give it to me for free. I want it for free. If it's actually going to be free, give it to me for free. Don't make me pay for it.
The fact that they could spin it as something as a benefit for us, where, it would make it so that the ISPs could make it sunshine and roses. But guess what? They're not going to do that because they're going.
You see this?
There's not
and
enough.
They were saying
right on up.
They were saying that one of their big things they were pushing is that it's stifling innovation with the current ISPs. And the reality is, before net neutrality was even put into place, I think it was
2015.
2015 is when it went into place. But in 2014, Verizon was given like $1.5 billion of taxpayer money to expand their network, and they did nothing with it. Yeah. They just took the money and ran. So you're going to tell me they
Google
didn't?
Fiber.
You can't, because all the lines are owned by AT&T. All the poles are owned by AT&T in every municipality. So they're not. AT&T is not allowing Google Fiber in neighborhoods. They've sued Google several times to keep them from getting their lines put in. It's such bullshit. Like, you want to talk about stifling innovation? The companies themselves are the ones stifling innovation, not the rules. So I don't know. It's
Get involved, learn about net neutrality, because if you're listening to this, it affects you 1,000% more than you think it does.
Yes.
So please.
ultimately that's what it
Check
boils
it out.
down to. Sorry to be so long-winded about that one, but I'm very
Sorry
passionate
to
about
be
it.
It's
not
important.
so neutral about that.
It's important. But,
Moving along.
all right, Brian, Grand Theft Auto Online's Doomsday Heists.
Yeah, it's out now. It's amazing.
You can get
supposedly.
jetpacks.
I haven't played it yet.
You can
There's
get
jetpacks. There's nuclear subs and
there's flying DeLoreans.
cars. Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
And,
And
I
I
think
think-
I even saw like Lamborghini subs or something. I don't even know.
I think Gojo said that you can take the DeLoreans into the water.
It's
So
That's ridiculous.
pretty out there, and it all revolves around Mount Chiliad, Chiliad, whatever it is,
And it's all free.
which is great because like there was a huge community trying to figure out what the conspiracy was, like that was revolving around the mountain there, and apparently this kind of ties it all
Solves that.
together.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And it's a free
other
update.
thing-
That's you have to
free.
stress that it's free.
It's free.
Comes with a lot of
Yeah.
new cars and purchasable in-game stuff, though, that'll cost you fortune and might want to make you actually spend real
Spend money on the shark
But
cards.
whatever. It's your choice. You don't have to.
The other thing, apparently somebody was data mining it, and they saw that there is potentially some type of Red Dead mission pack that
yeah,
might be
I
coming
saw
out.
that.
Oh, they
as
just announced
well.
the revolver. You can get the revolver from Red Dead.
Yeah.
Is one of the weapons that you can now get.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's pretty rad.
Yeah, that's about all I have to say about that.
I might be hopping on to check it out. Gojo Solutions and Nick's company. I don't remember what Nick's company is, but their companies are coming back into play
Sweet.
now that.
Solutions.
Yeah. And then Brian, your other.
Yes. Hitman's Paris level will be free to download for a limited time on Xbox and PS4 and PC.
On the 15th.
Yeah. So,
It's already out.
yes,
That was
it's out.
Thursday,
I
yeah.
downloaded it today, but I haven't tried it yet. But
But if you download it now, you get to keep it.
yeah.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Through January 5th.
And
So-
you get a bunch of missions, I guess, for free. A bunch of challenges. I didn't really read the article like usual.
Yeah, it just seems like a very good way to be introduced to the Hitman game, and if you like it, you can then invest money into buying the whole
Yeah.
package.
There's some like holiday specific stuff involved too, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they originally put it out with like Christmas time.
Yeah.
So-
I'm excited about it because I've wanted to try this game for a while, but I just
I'd leave her down.
it never seems to be on sale when I'm actually in the mood for it, so I haven't bought it yet.
Yeah.
yeah.
I bought it, but I haven't played it yet. So, all right. Two big things that happened since our last episode. PSX 2017 happened. There were a few announcements, although some people were pretty unhappy with it. But basically, there's several new PSVR games. That game Gollum that was originally announced at the VR announcement
Mm-hmm.
is finally going to come out. There's a game called Jupiter and Mars that looks really cool and Tron-y and neon-y and
Yeah, that did
also
look pretty neat.
like ocean-y, so that looks pretty sweet. There's a couple different first-person shooters coming. There's one called Killing Floor Incursion that has a horde mode. It's a co-op horde mode as well as a story-driven like single player.
That's already out on
Oculus and
Oculus,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay, so that's coming. Shooty Fruity. I didn't really look at that one too much, but you play a store clerk besieged by vaguely menacing cartoon produce, and you need to utilize both your bagging skills and sharpshooter skills to defend the building and keep your job. Knockout League looks like a boxing game of some kind, like a VR Punch Out essentially. Gollum: The Power of Your Dreams is coming on March 13th. It's a very personal story about an injured child learning to explore the world through her magical gifts. The Rick and Morty VR game that came out for Oculus or Vive or both is going to be coming to PlayStation VR as well. They put out a Last Guardian VR demo. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard good things about it on the PlayStation VR subreddit. So hopefully that is sweet. They are adding VR to the Wipeout Omega Collection. So I think I've heard there's only like 3 different cars that you will be able to go into the cockpit of, but the rest of them you will be hovering behind the car as you do the VR. So that's going to be out in early 2018, but that's on sale right now for really cheap. If you want to pick it up, it's like 60% off. So I did end up buying it, so hopefully I can talk about that.
Firewall looks awesome.
Firewall 0 Hour. It's a team-based tactical multiplayer first-person shooter coming to PSVR.
Hopefully similar to Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
But in VR.
Players are rewarded with in-game cryptocurrency and experience points they can use to upgrade their kit.
I wish it were out-of-game cryptocurrency. Then I would be all about that for sure.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah, life would not be too shabby.
Just win Bitcoin by playing a game.
The Persistence is a horror-type game coming out in July. And then finally, there's a Gungrave VR coming, so Corey's probably going to have to buy a PSVR.
Didn't they show a new trailer for Colossus as well? The remake.
Yeah,
that looked.
Yeah,
it looks
amazing.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus
coming in February. It's gonna be.
Looks so sweet,
so good. I can't wait. I think there were a bunch of other announcements, but it's kind of hard to round it all out. And
yeah, I mean, ultimately the main focus was VR. Like Sony's going all in, it seems like, and they've got a lot of developers that are basically like throwing money at it now too. So
they've sold 2 million since it came out, and that's double the other 2 headsets.
Yeah, so when you make an affordable VR headset for a console that's in the majority of homes that have consoles, you kind of got something going for you.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing, the 2017 Game Awards came out. Zelda Breath of the Wild won, of course, because it's fantastic, but it won Game of the Year. But the awards are stupid, so who cares about that? There were a bunch of announcements. The 50 versus 50 mode for Fortnite is something that we talked about previously. It's PUBG, but there's teams, which sounds pretty rad. So
it is
check that out for free. They announced the release date of the 1.0 for PUBG. It's coming on December 20th for PC. They also showed off the desert map, which has been on the test server for a couple weeks now.
I installed the test server and tried it out. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I just did it today. First time I was trying out the new map, and runs good. It looks great.
Yeah, lack of foliage sounds terrifying.
It's fun to be lost again.
The map is so. It's bigger than the other one, isn't it?
I think I'm not really sure. I feel like there's more towns and they're not as far apart.
Yeah, but it's terrifying running around. You just think you're gonna get popped. I mean, my brother. We both had snipers today, and I'm looking out. I'm like, these guys are so far away.
And yeah,
it's just it's huge. There's no trees, so you can see everything.
Yeah, right. I think that's one where you can get screwed by not being in the circle. Like, I feel like if you're not in the circle,
I feel like vehicles are more plentiful and scopes are way more plentiful.
Yeah.
And they have different vehicles on there, which are cool. There's like a Bronco.
That's awesome.
And
a VW bus too,
and
right?
a VW bus. There's a couple different guns too.
Yeah, so
like
that's
rifle.
That'll be hitting the actual release, not just the test server on the 20th. I've heard it's a little bit buggy, but
a little bit. But
it's expected on the test server.
It's in a pretty good spot though. Like it should be nice.
Yeah, I've only played one game on it, and there was no issues.
Cool. There's a game called A Way Out that was revealed at E3.
Very enthusiastically.
Yes, it's a co-op adventure that's coming out from EA, but by the team that made Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. And the cool thing is that when you buy this game, you can play it with someone else, even if they don't own it.
Very un-EA.
So it's like Far Cry co-op. Yep. I think you can download a client that has the whole game, but will allow you to play it if one of your friends has it.
Honestly,
it's coming out on every system.
It looks like a cool game to me too.
It'd be cool if they added crossplay, but they won't.
Nope. World War Z is becoming a game. That's cool, I guess. It's got a
hopefully it doesn't
big
suck.
Brand. Yeah, I don't know. From Software showed off a little bit of a thing. It says the shadows die twice were the only words that were in it, but it looked nice and creepy. Just those are the people.
It just looks more From Software.
Bloodborne and Dark Souls, something
There's
of that sort.
Talk of Tenchu, I heard.
Yeah, it's a shadows die twice is something that I think it's an actual line from a Tenchu game, so it might be. Tenchu Souls.
I honestly don't really care what it is. It's a new From Software.
You just want to play it.
Yeah, it'll be
check it
good.
out, and I probably won't finish again because it'll be too hard for me, but I'll love it.
Yeah. The Job Simulator guys are coming out with a game called Vacation Simulator, which sounds pretty good. For Oculus Rift, PSVR, and HTC Vive, of course. Campo Santo, the people who brought you Firewatch, are coming out with a game called In the Valley of Gods. It's another Egypt-based game with the Campo Santo cel-shaded, gorgeous-looking video game engine.
I guess
So
Egypt is in now. That's the new thing.
Yep. Everything's coming up Egypt. The Breath of the Wild expansion came out that night, and if you complete all of it, you get a motorcycle. Which the best thing to come out of that was somebody posted a GIF on Twitter that said showing all these horses that they're bullshit, and they were just doing donuts in front of a stable of 3 horses. It's so good.
Plus, you don't have to tame your motorcycle.
Yes, yeah. So I haven't checked it out yet. I do own it, but hopefully I'll get to that at some point. There's new Soul Calibur coming, which is cool. Soul Calibur
like
was a
fighting
thing.
I used to love Soul Calibur on the original Xbox. We used to play it all the time.
I feel like the only thing, like I not that I don't like Soul Calibur, but I'm just excited to see if they put any guest characters in, because that was always cool to me.
That was
And always
Well,
controversial.
they also had the character builder in one of the older ones that was on like PS3.
Actually, 5 had that too.
Did it? It's very cool. I mean, people could make like some pretty elaborate characters and with different move sets and everything. It was pretty rad.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. And then Bayonetta 1 and 2 are coming to Switch in February, and Bayonetta 3 is coming in the future.
Exclusive.
I've always heard great things about Bayonetta. It's very Devil May Cry-ish type game, so maybe I'll finally get to check it out now that it's on the Switch. You get 1 and 2 together in one package for $60.
I hear the PC ports are actually very good too. They
That's
just
cool.
did not too long ago.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to play them. I've never gotten around to it though.
And then Death Stranding. We got a 3rd trailer. It's super weird.
Oh, it's Daryl.
Walking Daryl himself.
Did you watch this trailer?
I watched it.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing
It's
I
so
think I've ever
good.
seen.
I just
That's so good.
I read, and I think I showed you guys.
Posted it. I didn't actually. I didn't.
There was a
look through it
post
yet.
from IGN where they were talking about they had actually sat down with Kojima and asked him about how the game is played and everything. They explained some of the mechanics. I don't remember off the top of my head, but now that I actually know what some of the mechanics are, I'm very interested in how this game plays.
Yeah.
So if I could remember that stuff.
All I remember hearing about is that there's like rain that actually speeds up time.
Yeah, the time
rain or something, and I'm so in on this game. It's not even funny. Like,
I don't doubt that
there's
it's
so much
gonna,
hype for this.
Yeah,
game.
I don't. Well, that's the thing. I mean, there was so much hype for Metal Gear 5, and like that game ended up being amazing. And like it's Metal Gear 5. Like I have it on Xbox. I bought it for $5 used at Best Buy. I've played maybe 20 minutes of it. It's too much game for me. So like this is gonna be too much game for me as well.
I kind of feel the same way about the Metal Gear.
But
Solid
I still
games.
want to play this because it just looks. I want to see it in person, and I want to understand
you'll be doing
how
a lot
it plays.
Of seeing it.
Yeah, I
There's
just
cinematics.
I just want to know how it's played. I want to feel it. Like I want to see like what the mechanics are.
Touch it.
I'm not convinced it's coming in the next 2 years.
No, it'll be on the next generation of
Yeah, it
consoles.
could be a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox 2, but I'm just excited for it whenever it comes out.
I think everybody who's into Kojima is going to be like pretty pumped on it.
I'm not there for the wacky story, even though sometimes it's entertaining. I just want to experience. Like, this is the dude that made a game that you could stand outside and charge your gun with the sun on the Game Boy. And it's a crazy idea, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's called Boktai, by the way. For anybody
one of the
who's
mechanics
curious.
that I'm recalling now is that when you die, it's very roguelike in the sense that like when you die, you get thrown into like this deep ocean, and all of the things you collected prior to dying are in the ocean, and you have to grab them again as you come out of it to enter back into the game world, which is kind of intense.
That sounds
like Nier does this. Too.
Yeah, well, yeah,
kind of, a little bit.
Nier's kind of the Dark Souls of like you leave your body with your plug-in chip somewhere, but this sounds more like Haunting, starring Poltergeist for the Sega Genesis, where you have to make your way through an underworld to get back to the normal game.
Right.
I'm even more sold now. So,
it sounds very cool. It looks incredible. I definitely want to see more, but I do feel it's going to be too much video game for me.
I think the thing is you just kind of gotta go with it. With
Just gotta
Kojima
really
games.
just sink your teeth into
You
it.
got
and-
you can't you gotta go with the flow of the game. It's not.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Metal Gear. Like you can't be too obsessed unless you're like a Metal Gear fan, like Gojo, and like myself to a lesser degree. I love Metal Gear, but nobody loves it as much as Gojo does. You can't sit there and be like, I need to play this game in the most optimal, best, stealthiest way from the get-go.
That went out the window for me fast with Metal Gear Solid
and
5.
you have
like if I could manage to get an A or whatever, fine. But you know, if I just got through, I knew there were many more missions to try to get. You know,
but that's the thing is that
do
with
it right.
with Metal Gear, you're kind of almost cheating yourself out of a lot of the mechanics
'cause
and
everything
beauty of
works
the game.
in that game.
Yeah.
If you can think of it, you can do it. Usually.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole grading system is what kind of pushed me out of it because I don't like being graded.
And it's like
I want to play the game how I want to play it, and if you're gonna give me the freedom to do that, give me the freedom to do that. But don't grade me on it.
Yeah.
Like
Still-
don't tell me like,
This is
oh,
a
what,
whole-
Well, that
you completed the level, but you did it in a way that was complete bullshit. So fuck you.
Were
Here's
you-
a C plus. Like,
Were you in the party chat when Zach and Jeff and I were talking about Metal Gear?
I don't think so.
Oh no, it was Rick. Rick was in with us. Rick and I were playing Destiny, and then all of a sudden Zach and Jeff joined, and Zach was just starting Metal Gear, and Zach commented about how he didn't like how like the best ending of the game was to tranquilize all of the bosses, including the enemies that you interact with. And Jeff is like, well, it just turned into this most redundant circular argument about what a Metal Gear game is ever, and it was so funny, and it was just really, really good. But anyway, I'm sure Death Stranding is going to have stuff like that, although some people are arguing that it's not going to be nearly as colossal as Metal Gear because it's Sony with less money than Konami putting it
What?
up.
That-
Well, just they're not
Sony's
not
poor.
going to let
Yeah.
Kojima run wild like
I
Konami
don't think
was
so.
essentially forced to.
That man has basically earned his right to go
He's
do whatever
earned
the
it,
hell he wants.
But I think like because he's starting from the ground up with a studio, like it's got to be something smaller before he leaps into something.
Nah, man,
bigger.
don't even
go
like.
big or go
he's-
home.
We'll see.
He's not the type to just slack off, man. Like
It's not slacking though. Like maybe he's like, I'm gonna make a tight 5-hour game that's gonna blow people's minds.
If this game is 5 hours, people are gonna throw an absolute
Yeah,
shit fit.
nobody will be happy with that.
People will go absolutely
I think
crazy.
they lost their minds over that PT demo. I mean, I think 5 hours is a
Well,
lot
I
more
think
than
people
that,
lost their
so-
minds over PT because they saw how amazing it could have been, and then it was taken away from them.
It's
Like,
so
Yeah.
good.
and it never got. It was never finished. You know, like,
Yeah.
and what is Guillermo del Toro? Does he play a role in this at all?
Yeah.
So that being said, like, you guarantee the narrative's going to be fucking insane for
Yeah.
this. Like, just balls out, like, mind blowing shit. And the gameplay is going to be super intuitive and awesome. Like, everything about this game is probably going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And so
But it's going to be too amazing for John to play.
it is.
It's
I'm still gonna
it's
play
be
it.
overwhelming, and that's
I'm
kind of how I
overwhelmingly
feel.
amazing.
That's
Yeah,
kind of how I feel about the Metal Gear games.
That's-
I like
yeah.
them, but it's almost too much.
After Metal Gear 2, I lost interest because I couldn't handle having to like pull my bullet out of my skin and then dress the wound and like with
It really wasn't
antiseptic
that
and da da da.
hard,
Like,
though,
but
you
I just
know?
wanted to like
That
in
would
Metal
be sweet in VR.
in Metal Gear Solid 1, you just eat some rations and you're healed. Like that's what I want out of games. I want to walk up to a pizza box that's floating in the air and grab it and my life heals. And
You don't want
that's
like everything inside the game to be its own little game.
no, I don't want to sit there and have to like take out a chicken breast and dice it up into like little and then like boil
Also
some
be
water
cool
to
in
put
VR.
rice in and like make fried rice and shit.
I
Like
feel like you'd love that game.
no, I want to. The problem is, you know what the issue is when I do shit like that in games, I just get hungry.
You want to be
I
able
just
to
want
eat it.
I'm gonna stop playing and go cook some food.
Oh, when
is
I was
what I'm
playing
gonna do.
Final Fantasy 15, like
Oh,
they
dude, the
present
food.
They present this food, and it just looks
Yeah,
it looks amazing.
When is it Ignis?
Oh, they
When-
got a new recipe.
yeah, when Ignis makes you food, they show it. It's like an Instagram snapshot that somebody took, and it's like, here's some great looking food. And it's got steam coming off of it, and it's in game engine. But you look at it, and you're just like, man, like I want
It
that
looks
ramen.
amazing.
Like I want to eat that.
God, I'm so hungry right now. Let's not talk about
It's
food.
pretty ridiculous. Anyway, we're wrapping up. Anyways, we're getting right at the hour and a half.
Do you guys remember
mark.
Burger Time?
Hell yeah, dude. I remember all them shits. Fuck yeah.
What about
Burger
Cooking
Time.
Mama?
It was,
Do
they're
you
all
remember
good.
remember the 7-Up guy? He had a game.
Yeah,
Spot.
The Spot
Yeah,
game.
Yeah,
Cool
spot,
Spot.
Cool
And
Spot
the Cheetos
Adventures
guy
or
had a
something like
game.
that. Yo Noid, the
Yeah.
Domino's Noid character
Yeah.
had
I
his
liked
game.
that guy.
Yo Noid was a great
I don't-
game.
th- There's like a couple Cheetos guys.
No, Chester Cheetah,
Let's
man.
not talk about this right now.
I'm sorry.
No, we're gonna keep going.
It's just
No.
food. I don't want to hear about
Anyways.
food right now.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. We're gonna
Do you
wrap this
remember
up.
Pizza Hut?
Hell yeah, I love Pizza
You know the
Hut.
Pizza Hut lunch buffet? I used to skip like lunch. I skip 4th hour, go
You
to the
get
buffet.
all that pizza.
Here's a fun fact that you may not have known, but prior to kale being declared a superfood, Pizza Hut was the #1 kale producer, or not producer,
Why the
purchaser
hell do you know
in the
this?
entire United
For
States.
what?
What did they use it for?
To dress the salad bar with. It was literally used as a garnish on the edges
to
of
make
the
it look pretty.
Yeah, on the edge of the salad
It
bar
was
and
like-
the pizza bar.
Like a little kid goes up and grabs it. Mom's like, "Honey, you don't eat that.
No, that's not
That's
food.
not
That's
food.
just decoration.
That's decoration."
Kale is now a superfood.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
eat as much kale as you can.
Ugh, fuck kale. It's
Probably
gross.
all advertising.
Kale's
Liz,
man.
Liz bought a
disgusting.
salad the other night, and it's like one of those mixed green salads. It's got so much. I'm like, what the? It's got
Mixed
so much-
greens, it's just kale.
It's got all this kale.
It tastes like dirt.
Oh,
Tastes like bitter dirt.
it's so bitter.
It's gross. You can't cook it good anyway.
Mind you, everyone in this room is a little bit overweight, but
True. Guess we need more kale.
yeah, I guess we
I don't
probably
want
should
any
be
more
eating kale.
kale.
I'll bring it to the next time I come.
It's
Just a-
awful. Kale's gross. Anyways, if you want to follow us on social media or see all the places you can listen to or watch the show, please check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. As always, we do appreciate your feedback, which you can send to us at MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch, as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. Next episode, we're going to do top 5s, I think, is what we're doing of the year. And we're going to have a bunch of superlatives like best RPG kind of crap like that. And then maybe hit on some most anticipated for 2018. If you guys have anything you want us to talk about in regards to these games, or if you want to send in your top 5s, we'll read them off. But send them to MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com for us
Even
to
just
do that.
tell us what your favorite game of the year was.
Yeah, or your favorite game of the year. That even, and it can just talk to us, please.
Yeah. We're lonely.
Do you have anything else going on with the network, Alex?
There's got to be a horror movie yearbook going on. I think they're doing their 2017 episodes soon.
I think I saw that. Yeah,
Unless,
2017 wrap up or
unless it's
something.
out. Cause yeah, they do years, and usually at the end of the year they hit the year that they're actually in. So look for that coming soon, and yeah, that's about it really.
Yeah, Webby, thank you for joining us, man. We really
I
appreciate
always
it.
have fun. I
Thank
like
It was a
coming over.
pleasure.
I don't know as much as you guys, but I know. a
No,
little
but
bit.
the thing is, like, you and I have conversations every once in a while, and I feel like you would be a better host sometimes because you're more up on the news and things.
I
Like,
do read a lot of the news.
you read a lot of the news. You're more on the you're more into the current, like, what's happening kind of stuff. Whereas I'm just playing a lot of the games. So
Yeah, I don't have the time to play as much as I'd like to, but I read a lot at work.
yeah, no, that's cool, man. Anytime you want to come back and talk, you're always welcome. We
All
really
right.
appreciate
Yeah,
you coming
I
by.
will definitely come by.
So yeah, everybody, thanks for listening. Please check back in 2 weeks for the next episode, the last one of the year, and we will talk to you then. Peace.